Hello everyone, very good evening. I welcome you all at India's most comprehensive preparation platform for all competitive exams, that is BYJU'S Exam Prep. So guys, today we are going to discuss most important topics of CAC. So what do I mean by most important topics of CAC? So if you guys are in the third year, or if you guys are thinking that you will not be able to complete the syllabus on time because of some reasons, though I believe that 6 months are more than sufficient to cover the complete syllabus of GATE CSE in depth. But still, if some of you are thinking that, sir, I may not be able to complete the syllabus on time, then I'm going to discuss some most important topics which will require only 50% of the effort, but still you will be able to score more than 70% marks in the GATE 2024 exam. So let's start the session. This is a brief introduction of myself. My name is Vishal Ravatia. I have 10 plus years of teaching experience, and following are the achievements and areas of expertise. Okay, now, so guys, there's a very important announcement that BYJU'S Exam Prep is going to conduct a national scholarship test for all GATE 2024 aspirants. The test will be conducted on 23rd of July, that is on Sunday at 9 a.m. So do participate in this test, and you may avail up to 90% off on all our programs. Now, the most important thing. So guys, something new is coming on for the CS students on this particular channel of BYJU'S Exam Prep. So to know that what is the new beginning, what is the new thing, we come live on 22nd of July at 8 p.m. So this is very big announcement for all of you. So do so kindly subscribe for the channel if you have not yet subscribed, and press the bell icon so that you will get the notification about this. So kindly mark the notification. So let's start with the session. That what are the important topics of GATE CSE. So this is the complete syllabus. I'll just tell you that what are the different things in a particular subject which are important to score the maximum marks with minimum effort. First of all, let me tell you very clearly that I want each and every one of you to complete the syllabus if possible. So these are the things only for the students who may be in the third year, and they may think that, sir, right now I am not getting enough confidence whether I'll be able to crack the GATE exam or not. So this particular thing is for the students who do not have sufficient time for some reason. If you guys are having sufficient time to complete the syllabus, then don't fall into the trap of this important topics, because I mean these are important. So the idea is you need to still, if you are preparing for the complete syllabus, then also you need to focus more on the topics which I am going to describe in this particular session. So guys, most important thing. So first thing is engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics. There is no way that you can leave this particular thing, because this particular topic is from 13 to 15 marks in the GATE exam. So only by covering one subject you will be able to score 13 to 15 marks. And when we talk about engineering mathematics, it's a very general mathematics which you all have studied in the 11th class mathematics. The only thing is that with time you might have forgotten certain things, so you just need to revise those things. Hi Nalam, very good evening. Right, so you just need to revise those things to complete the topic of engineering mathematics. And apart from that, this discrete mathematics contains certain things which are very much required whether you are preparing for the placement or whether you are preparing for the GATE exam. This concept discussed in the discrete mathematics will be required at all point of time. Now, another important subjects are programming and data structure and algorithm. So again, this will be somewhere around 17 to 20 marks in GATE exam. The weightage of these two subjects will be 17 to 20 marks in this particular subject. Clear? So that's another thing. Now Apart from that, these are just the general thing. Please don't leave this general aptitude also. This is also from 15 marks. So guys, if we actually think of that, sir, I mean, I don't understand that why students are not able to score more than 50, or every and each student is not able to score more than 50 marks in the GATE exam. Because I can actually tell you that if you complete this 3 things only, then also you are actually covering the syllabus of 50 marks. Please try to understand this, because there will be some small questions which will be known to you anyway. Okay. So anyway, so these are the topics. You also need to understand that whenever you start preparing for the GATE exam, the very first thing which you need to complete is the engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics, because many of the concepts discussed during the preparation of engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics will be useful when you are trying to cover other concepts discussed in the different subject. So this is the first most priority. Whenever you start preparing, please start with engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics. Okay, let's move ahead. So let's come to the subject engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics. As I have told you, the weightage is from 13 to 15 marks. So I may directly tell you that you should not leave engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics. Most of the portion for the computer science branch will be from discrete mathematics. But you all know there are certain things. Combinatorics is actually a part of discrete mathematics in the defined syllabus, but you can treat this combinatorics separately. Now, whenever you are starting engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics, please start with combinatorics, because whenever you will try to understand the concept of discrete mathematics, you may need to know the concept of combinatorics. Now, what are the most important things in the combinatorics which are asked very frequently? So the concept of generating function. I mean, this is from the GATE point of view, but otherwise, what did I say? You need to complete the concept of combinatorics, because the general computing aspect will be used can be used everywhere, right? So this is the idea, that you need to complete the combinatorics. Apart from that, they frequently ask question from the combinatorics. If you are thinking that's from which particular part of combinatorics the questions will be asked in the GATE exam. So combinatorics as a whole is needed to understand different subject, but from GATE specific point of view, if you are asking, then the questions may be asked from generating function or recurrence relation. Please bear in mind that this recurrence relation is different from the recurrence relation of algorithm. Why? Because here you need to provide the exact solution. You don't need to provide the complexity, or you don't need to provide the solution in the general form, that what will be the order of the solution, but you need to provide the exact solution. So to obtain the exact solution, you need to understand the concept of combinatorics. So these are the 2 things which are most important. Now again, linear algebra. So the most important part of engineering mathematics for the computer science student is linear algebra. So you need to complete this as well. Sir, you are writing complete everywhere, because I have already told you that this is very important, because it gives you 13 to 15 marks, and linear algebra is a very easy subject. You all know, you all have studied linear algebra. So if I ask you, what was your favorite topic when you were in the 11th class? Sir, my favorite topic was either matrix or determinant, right? So you all are in the favor of this linear algebra, but it's just that with time you have forgotten the concept, so you just need to revise them, nothing more than that. Now, when we talk about probability, so you need to understand the basic concept, that is multiplication rule and addition rule. So that's the one thing, you just need to understand basic concept. If you are only worried about the important things, then you may eventually skip this random variable, uniform, normal, exponential, Poisson and binomial distribution. If you have time, then you can eventually complete this portion as well, but otherwise no general question or no direct question. Generally a question may be asked, but generally they don't ask the question from this particular thing. Then from where the question may come? Sir, Bayes theorem, which is the conditional probability. So this is very important. So if you are discussing, or if you are covering probability, then don't forget to cover the concept of Bayes theorem, which is used for conditional probability. Clear? Now that's it. From calculus, then again, so if you are in some other branch, then calculus may be different for you, but for computer science, the calculus is very easy. Basic differentiation, basic. I am saying basic. You don't need to go into the complicated formulas of differentiation. You just need to understand the basic differentiation for GATE CSE. Apart from that, basic differentiation and integration. Basic. So what type of integration? Sir, the property based integration. Properties. In which the direct properties can be applied and you can obtain the solution. Those type of questions will be asked for the GATE CSE student. But the thing which you need to understand in more detail is basically that is dependent on the concept of differentiation only, but you need to understand the concept of maxima and minima. Generally, the questions will be asked from here, plus limit and continuity. Limit, continuity and differentiability. So this is the, you may think so this is the complete syllabus, but the idea is just focus on the concept of limit, L'Hopital rule and 0 by 0, infinite by infinite, all those concepts, basic differentiation, basic integration, maxima, minima. You may eventually skip this mean value theorem if you want to. Discrete mathematics, no choice but completed, because if we are saying 13 to 15, then around 9 to 10 marks will be from discrete mathematics only. So completed. Whatever is defined in the syllabus, completed. If you ask, then your faculty may teach you the concept of planarity, which was earlier defined categorically in the syllabus of discrete mathematics, but from last 2-3 years, the topic of planarity is not present in the syllabus defined by the GATE Organizing Institute. So you may skip that particular concept, but I would not suggest you to skip it. But if you are restricted by the time, then only you can skip it. So what you can skip it? Planarity. If time does not allow you to complete the complete discrete mathematics, then you may skip it. But otherwise, discrete mathematics is most important thing for any student of computer science branch. So this is the general engineering mathematics and discrete mathematics. If you cover this thing, then you will be safely able to score 10 marks out of those 13 to 15 marks. So that's one target. Now, when we talk about digital logic, then the syllabus of digital logic is very vast for EC and EE student. So you may see the video lectures on the YouTube or anywhere else in which different things are being discussed related to the subject of digital logic. But what you need to focus on, sir, you just need to understand the basic concept of combinational circuit. What are the combinational circuit? Sir, marks. You just need to understand the working. You don't know how, you don't need to understand that how do we implement a multiplexer. You don't need to understand that how do we implement a demultiplexer or a decoder or an encoder. But you just need to understand that what is the thing, how does a multiplexer work. So there will be certain inputs. One of those input will be selected based on the select line, and the output will be produced. So you just need to understand this much, mux, demux, only this much. Not, you don't need to go in too much detail. Encoder and decoder, basic. This is your combinational circuit. You all will be aware of the Boolean algebra concept because you have studied the concept of discrete mathematics. So the concept of discrete mathematics, when we talk about the properties of sets or the properties of set operation, they will be exactly similar to the properties of Boolean algebra operation. Why? Because union will be treated as OR operation and AND will be treated as AND operation. Right? Union and intersection will be OR and AND with respect to Boolean algebra. Now, sequential circuit. Sir, you all need to understand the working of flip-flop, and the most important thing for the computer science students is the concept of counter. So basically, when you understand the concept of counter, you will eventually understand the application part. You will eventually understand what? Application part. The question may not be directly asked from this topic of counter, but if you have understood the concept of counter, then you will be able to solve the question which has been asked in the GATE exam. So please focus on working of the counter rather than cramming the solution. So first of all, and most important thing, if you are not able to spare time, then please don't try to cram the things or cram the topics. If you are mugging, then you will not get selected in the GATE exam. I can honestly tell you that if you are not prepared at all, then there are chances that you may get selected. But if you are mugging the concept, then definitely you will not get selected, because every time you will get that -1/3 or -2/3 mark. So, I mean, this is worse than getting a 0 mark. So, the idea is that if you are not focusing on the concept, and if you are simply cramming whatever is written in the book or whatever is written in some notes, then you will definitely score this negative marks. So please try to understand that you need to understand the logic, you need to understand the concept of anything whichever you are learning. So you cannot simply mug the things and appear in the GATE exam. You are definitely going to screw it if you are doing it, right? So I mean, it does not matter that how much syllabus you have covered, or if you are covering a little less syllabus, then also it is okay, but please focus on concepts and logic. That is the most important thing if you are a computer science student. K-map is very important. It will be useful for minimization, right? So minimization of the given expression is important. From number system point of view, you must know the basic concept of binary, octal, hexadecimal concept, conversion, and you must know the concept of floating point arithmetic. This is very important. The question may directly come from this particular topic, and this will not require more than 1 hour. This understanding of floating point arithmetic will not require more than 1 hour. Therefore, I will not suggest you to leave this particular thing, because a direct question may come from this particular thing. So these are the things which you need to study from the digital logic point of view. Now, sir, what is important from the computer organization point of view? So guys, if you are not able to understand the concept, then you can simply skip this part. ALU, data path and control unit. I mean, you may say that, I mean, this is the core if you are actually trying to understand the working of complete computer system. But if your focus is only to get the marks in the GATE exam, then you may eventually skip this particular part. Now, when we talk about machine instruction, what are the things which you need to focus on? Try to understand the instruction formats. The direct question may come from this particular topic, right? Try to understand the, I mean, basically these are all the part of instruction cycle. So you will eventually try to understand the concept of instruction cycle. In this concept of instruction cycle, you will get the concept of instruction format. Then ultimately you will get the decoding. Then another thing which is important is addressing mode. Sir, what is important in addressing mode? From addressing mode, you need to learn the effective address calculation, that how many memory references will be required, how many register references will be required, how many arithmetic operations will be required, and so on, in order to fetch the data given a particular addressing mode. So these are the general things. You just need to study the addressing mode concept once. You will come to know that, okay, this wherever we see at the rate, it is indirect. Whenever we see this is direct, and so on. So with respect to our memory address, obviously, if it is inside a register, then it will become register indirect. So you just need to understand the format. You just need to understand once that given a particular type of addressing mode, how do we calculate the effective address? Because the direct questions are asked from this particular topic, that how many memory references will be required if we are trying to execute this particular instruction, right? So these are the two most important things from the instruction cycle point of view. Otherwise, you will require a lot of time to understand the concept of instruction cycle. You will also see how decoding is taking place, what will eventually happen when we are executing an instruction in the execute cycle. So there are many things, but the questions will eventually come from the topic of instruction format or from the topic of addressing mode. Apart from that, the very simple question may come from the topic of flag registers. So you just need to understand what are the different types of flags when they are set and when they are reset. Now, when we talk about memory organization, please study only hierarchical memory organization. Only hierarchical memory organization. If somebody force you to study the simultaneous memory organization, you can eventually skip it, right? Because there is no such organization. If we have understood the concept of hierarchical memory organization, then the general question which will be asked from the hierarchical memory organization are basically related to effective memory access time. The questions will be from the calculation of effective memory access time. Given a cache, given a main memory access time, given a cache access time, if we are trying to access something based on the specification given in the question, then how much time will be required? This type of questions can be asked. Apart from that, yes, memory organization is one of the most important topic. Why? Every year at least one question will be asked from this particular topic, and every year at least one question will be asked from the concept of pipelining. So two questions will definitely come in the GATE exam from this subject, computer organization and architecture. One will be from memory organization, another will be from pipelining. So no way you can leave it, but from the topic of memory organization, you need to understand these two things. Then you need to understand the concept of mapping techniques. Mapping techniques. Then randomly the question may be asked from replacement policies. And one more important thing here is write through and write back updating techniques. So what are we leaving? You may eventually leave the concept of implementation of multi-level cache. The use of multi-level cache will eventually be known to you when you will understand the concept of hierarchical memory organization, but how multi-level caches are managed, how they eventually try to avoid the memory coherence, you don't need to go into the detail, right? So write through and write back. Clear? So these are the topics which you need to study from memory organization. If you are not getting the topic, or if you don't have sufficient time, then you can eventually leave the concept of control unit, because very rarely the questions has been asked from this particular topic. So that's okay. Pipelining, again, very important. So sir, generally you need to understand the concept of speed up, that how much time or how much speed up will be achieved using the concept of pipelining or non-pipelining. So understand this concept. Also understand the concept of stall cycles, that how many stall cycles will be created. The questions may be asked. So stall cycles will come into the pipeline because of two things. One is because of non-linear or basically I would say because of asynchronous pipeline. Because of asynchronous pipeline, the stall cycles may be present. So basically when you say stall cycles, then asynchronous pipeline, what do I mean by? So you will eventually know this, I am not teaching here. So stall cycles will be present because of asynchronous pipeline, or maybe because of some dependency. So when we talk about dependency, the three types of dependencies are there, but two most important types of dependencies from which the questions are asked very frequently. One is the data dependency and another is the control dependency. This dependency is also known as hazard. So data hazard or control hazard. So when you understand the data hazard, you will know read after write hazard, write after read hazard, and write after write hazard. Control dependency exists because of the presence of control transfer operation. So when a control transfer operation, so what are the different types of control transfer operation, that you will eventually understand when you will understand the concept of instruction format and instruction cycle. right? So because of execution of control transfer operation, you may not know that what is the exact address from which the next instruction will be fetched and executed, and because of that some stalls may be present in the pipeline. So these are the things which you need to understand from the pipelining point of view. The question will directly come from this particular topic of pipelining and memory organization. In IO interface, there will be programmed IO as well, but very rarely, I mean only once or twice the question has been asked from this topic of programmed IO, but otherwise the two most important topics are interrupt driven IO or interrupt initiated IO. This is also less important, but the most important one is DMA. Now again, when we are talking about DMA, you don't need to go into too much detail of DMA, that why it is happening, how it is happening, if you don't have time. Otherwise, I have categorically told you that you need to understand each and every topic. But if you are thinking in terms of DMA and if you are not having sufficient time, then please try to understand that what do I mean by CPU utilization time means for what percentage of time the CPU will be blocked and why it is blocked. Also try to understand that particular factor, otherwise you will not be able to understand the equation. And also for what percentage of time the CPU will be busy. So CPU blocked time and CPU busy time, that's what you need to calculate with respect to DMA. And two most important things which needs to be discussed with respect to DMA are burst mode or block transfer mode. Burst mode or block transfer mode. Another one is cycle stealing mode. The questions are generally asked from this cycle stealing mode format. So please, and in the recent years, almost every year a question is being asked from this topic of DMA when the mode is a cycle stealing mode. So please try to cover this, don't skip it, right? So you may find this subject computer organization and architecture difficult mainly because of this ALU data path and control lineage. Therefore I am saying, if at all you are finding it difficult, then don't leave the subject, leave this particular topic of this particular subject, because otherwise one question here from here, one question from here, at least 3 to 4 marks question can be attempted very easily from the subject of computer organization and architecture. So please bear in mind that you are, no matter who has told you that computer organization and architecture is a difficult subject, he must have told you this statement, he must have given you this statement because of this particular thing only. So please focus on the concept of memory organization and pipelining if you don't have sufficient amount of time. This is all restricted by the time, please. I am telling you again and again that all these statements are based on the restriction of time, because if time is there, there is no reason because of which I'll tell you to leave some of the topics. Clear? I'm just giving you the information that if you are left with only 2 or 3 months, or even if you are left with 6 months and you can study only for 2 to 3 hours per day, then also you will be able to score more than 65 or 70 marks if you focus on this particular topics only, right? That's the idea of defining or conducting this particular session. Now C programming. Again, now let's try to understand. What did I say? C programming, data structure plus algo. The marks will be somewhere from 17 to 20. So if at all you are preparing for the GATE exam, don't leave these 3 things: programming, data structure and algorithm, because this particular topics are not important only from the GATE point of view, but these topics are also important if you guys are preparing for the interviews. Okay, sorry guys, sorry, for some reason earlier this chat was not visible to me, but now it is visible. Hi, good evening sir. When will be form available? Form will be available somewhere around September only, Ayush. Sir, I am a student from BSc. I really wanted to pursue MSc in data science or cognitive science. Am I eligible for GATE CSE? You are eligible only after MSc, right? I am really in a dilemma. I really don't want MSc in maths or statistics. You can eventually complete your MSc in computer science as well. I guess MCA is you are eligible for that. So let us see book kaisi hai for GATE syllabus. Not at all. Please, 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 visible gamer, if you are preparing for GATE exam, then don't refer to Let Us See by Yashwant Kanetkar. No, you need to learn the concept, that how actually a program. So generally the type of questions which will be asked in the GATE exam related to C programming will check your logical ability. They will not, the questions in the GATE exam will not check whether you know the syntax or not. So that's the idea. So while I'm going to define the syllabus of C programming for the GATE aspirants. So please don't fall in the trap of Let Us See by Yashwant Kanetkar if you are preparing for GATE. Hello sir, I am from ECE branch and appearing for CSE paper. So can you suggest I should complete the whole syllabus or do 6-7 topics as only 6 months are remaining? Chetan, if you are in the third year of your preparation, then I would suggest that you, for time being, you choose only the topics which I am mentioning in this particular video. But if you are in your in the final year of your engineering, then please try to cover all the topics of syllabus defined for the computer science student. The reason is that I would not want you to waste 1 year just by thinking that 6 months are not sufficient. So 6 months are more than sufficient to crack GATE CSE if you are ready to spend 7 to 8 hours per day. This is the requirement to complete the syllabus in 6 months time. But the idea is you must be ready to spare 7 to 8 hours per day. So if you are a college going student, then I have already given a strategy that how you can fetch 7 to 8 hours per day along with your college. So you can spend 3 hours in morning, you can get 4 to or at 4 hours in the evening. So you can eventually do it, right? What else, sir? No, beta, I am not from Telugu state. I am from Madhya Pradesh. Sir, numerical method in syllabus, should we study or not? Numerical method is not in your syllabus. Adokshaj Patki, numerical method is not in the syllabus for CAC aspirant. Form is available. Yeah, that's why I'm mid of September or September. Sir, I wanted GATE exam to pursue MSc. Swati, there is a recent change. I also come to know about this, but I have not read it myself in the notification. Therefore, I will not pass the comment. So for me, for time being, it is in the dilemma whether BSc students are allowed to pursue MSc by appearing in the GATE exam or not. So in a day or two, I'll inform you about this with the help of a short, right? So yes, you are right that someone else also has told me that BSc students are eligible now, but I have not read it myself. Therefore, I am not passing any comment on this. Yesterday only, chairman of admission ITM came to our college and gave GATE orientation, sir. So okay. So in that case, you may know about this. Which book will be better to take reference for operating system? Galvin is okay. Galvin is okay to if you are using it as a reference book. But please, if you are in the final year of your preparation, then this is not the time to read a reference book. Please make sure that 6 month time is not sufficient to complete the syllabus with the help of a reference book. If at all you are planning to prepare, if at all you are preparing for GATE 2024, then please make sure, it's not necessary that you take admission somewhere, but I'm just saying that follow a particular mentor, follow a particular faculty who is having enough experience in the GATE field, watch his or her lecture and try to prepare from there itself if you are planning for GATE 2024. Now is not the time to refer the books. Clear? Sir, we see huge playlist for aptitude on YouTube, which are also incomplete. Please give us topics on which we have to devote time for aptitude. Okay, in the end, I'll also discuss about aptitude. So for time being, I have taken all your comments. Initially, those comments were not visible to me, therefore I did not respond. I was actually looking there again and again, but I thought that no one is asking anything. Anyway, so let's move ahead. So I hope I have answered the doubt of everybody. Now, if it is about C programming, so as someone asked whether Yashwant Kanetkar is good enough or not. So see, please try to understand. In Yashwant Kanetkar, you will only learn syntax, that if this is the scenario, this will be the output. If this is the scenario, this will be the output. But the questions which will be asked in the GATE exam related to C programming will be logical. They will eventually modify the code at some place or another. If you know the concept of C programming, then only you will be able to crack it, right? So, what are the things or what are the places at which the code can be modified? You just need to understand that. So, from the C programming point of view, first you need to understand two things. There are some questions in which they will eventually ask that what is the output of this particular program. So, if you want to understand that what will be the output of a given program, then you must understand the concept of scope and parameter passing. So, generally, call by name, call by address, or call by reference, whatever you call it, right? Call by copy. So that's the thing. So these two are most important thing. First of all, you must be comfortable with the scope of a variable, static or dynamic, and you must be comfortable with the parameter passing techniques, right? So these are the two most important things which will eventually affect your output. Apart from that, if the variable is, it's not relevant, if it is not related to the concept of variable or static or dynamic variable, then what are the things from where the questions can be asked is the recursive function call. You need to understand that how recursion work with the help in the C programming. And the most important thing which you cannot skip if you are preparing C programming for GATE is the pointer concept. So basically, the pointer concept will be used in general with the strings. So you also need to understand that how or what is the equivalence with respect to a string and pointer. Now, apart from that, what else should be covered? I'm missing something. Scope, parameter, recursive function call, pointer concept, and see, yes, structure. You don't need to go with the union, but structure is important. Sir, pointers using array are important in terms of GATE. Yes, pointers are important. So, thank you for information, sir. Actually, I am also not pretty sure. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Swati, that I'll give you the proper information in a day or two. Please subscribe for the channel and visit the short video. So, I'll try to come up with the exact information whether BSc students are eligible or not. And yes, pointers are important. So these are the things on which you need to focus mainly. But apart from that, you all are CSE students, so you must be good with the C programming. So the idea is that don't skip C programming, data structure and algorithm, because it will be helpful for your placement as well. Even if you get admission into IIT or NIT, then also these three things will be asked when you will appear for the interview, right? So, being a computer science student, you should never leave programming, data structure and algorithm. Now, from the GATE point of view, if we are talking about data structure, then the most important thing is tree. You must know each and every concept related to tree. You cannot leave anything from the topic of tree, right? Apart from that, the question may be asked from the topic of array, So I would suggest that complete array, I mean the chances of a question being asked from the array are very few, but anyway it is a very easy topic. It will not take much amount of time, so you will eventually feel confident if you have covered the concept of array. And if at all you are trying to cover the concept of stack and queue, you will eventually require the knowledge of array, because stack and queues are generally implemented using the array, right? So that's the idea. So most important topic I am talking about is tree. Even if you skip array and stack, that will be fine. You just know the concept of stack. The direct question of stack will not come. The question will come from the stack based on its application. That given a stack, how can you perform certain things? So application based question can be asked from stack, right? Now queue is fine. You can if the time is there, you can cover the concept of queue, otherwise you can skip it. Linked list is again important. Why? So you need to understand that trees are basically nothing but doubly ended linked list, doubly linked list. So this is a node of linked list, or just a node. It will have one pointer, it will have another pointer. So in this node of linked list, this will eventually become left child of your tree. This will become your right child of the tree. Therefore, the tracing of linked list is also important. So if you are trying to understand the concept of tree, you must know the concept of linked list. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand the concept of tree in the appropriate manner. Clear? Now, apart from that, heap is important. Why heap is important? Heap is important because this is just a data structure, but from the algorithm point of view, many questions can be asked in the algorithm related to this heap, right? So that's okay. So heap is again important, right? So when I'm saying tree, each and every concept of tree, traversal and everything is there. Pre-order, in order, post order. I have covered everything when I have written each and every concept related to tree. Linked list from the implementation of tree point of view, and otherwise it is important. Why? Because if you what thing is important? What is important in the linked list? The pointer manipulation. So you just need to know that gate authorities are very fond of pointer concept, and when you are traversing the linked list, the pointer manipulation will be done. Therefore, you need to understand the concept of linked list, that how pointers are manipulated when we are trying to traverse the linked list, or when we are trying to modify the linked list in between, in the starting, in the end, all those things. Clear? Let's move ahead. Now, algorithms. So from algorithm point of view, searching, sorting algorithm, again, most important. So if I say that 17 to 20 marks question will come from this particular thing, then the very less weightage will be of the data structure. The question will be from C programming and algorithm. But if you do not know the concept of data structure, you will never understand the concept of algorithm. Therefore, I said that please try to understand each and everything related to these three topics. Now, searching will be linear search or binary search. Linear search, everybody know, linear and binary. These two type of searching you need to cover. Sorting, all sorting algorithms. Which one is most important? Most important, merge sort. Most important is merge sort. Why? Because it uses the concept of divide and conquer. So basically there are three different techniques: divide and conquer, dynamic programming, and greedy, right? So this greedy approach is basically used for minimum spanning tree. Merge sort is based on the concept of divide and conquer. Dynamic programming is comparatively lengthy, so if you don't have sufficient time, then you can leave this concept of divide and conquer if you are short of time, right? Complexity. So you must know the complexity of all searching and sorting algorithm. No means you must know the logic. behind the complexity of searching algorithm and complexity of sorting algorithm. If you are simply trying to mug those complexities with respect to different algorithm, then you are not going to crack the question which will be asked in the GATE exam. So generally complexity will be given program, that given a program, how do you give the answer, that what will be the time complexity of the for the execution of that particular program, and known program, right? So for a given program you need to understand the logic. For the known program, then only you will be able to provide the complexity for the given program. Now graph. See, this graph will be discussed in the discrete mathematics first. So that's why I say just first try to complete the concept of discrete mathematics. So you will know the concept of graph from the discrete mathematics. You will know the concept of minimum spanning tree from the discrete mathematics. But here you will try to learn some new things related to the concept of graph and minimum spanning tree. So this will be from discrete plus algo. So that's why there is no reason to leave it, because you have already spent some time while discussing the graph and minimum spanning tree in the discrete mathematics. So please spend some more time and you will be able to crack this particular thing. Shortest path, Dijkstra and all, you need to complete them. Other things can be left over. Now, when it comes to theory of computation, 80% of the syllabus or 80% of the question asked in the GATE exam related to theory of computation will be related to regular language, regular expression and finite automata. 80% of the syllabus will 80% of the questions will be from these two things only. So there are many things: regular language, then CFL, then CSL, then your enumerated language. So many things are there. So the idea is your focus, if you have limited time, your focus must be on regular language, regular expression, finite automata. So finite automata, NFA, DFA, conversion from NFA to DFA, all those things must be known, right? Undecidability, definite question or guaranteed question generally. I mean, all these things are very important from the theory of computation point of view. So of the overall time which you will spend in the theory of computation, only 50% of time will be needed for regular language, finite automata and undecidability, but 80% of syllabus will be covered using those 50% efforts. Now please try to understand the concept of closure property. The questions are very frequently asked from this concept of closure property, but someone might tell you that remember this chart and you will be able to answer the question. Please don't do it. Please try to understand the concept, that how those closure properties are working. So closure property is another important thing. You can leave all this pumping lemma and all, because I mean very rarely the questions are asked from this particular things. LBA you can leave. PDA, if time is available, then you can also study the concept of PDA, push down automata, if time permits. Yes sir. Clear? Let's move further. So compiler design, very easy subject. So the focus must be on this parsing only. So the most important thing is parsing in the syllabus of compiler design. 70% of time the question will be asked from this parser concept. All the concepts are very easy. You need to focus on LL1 parser, LR parser. All these parsers are basically LR0, SLR1, CLR1, LLR1 and operator parser, precedence parser. The question may not directly come from operator precedence parser, but the logic you will learn in the operator precedence parser will be used for the evaluation of an expression when you are learning the concept of SDT. Therefore, operator precedence parser is important to learn if you want to understand the concept of SDT. So these are the two things which are most important. Very rarely a question may be asked from the direct intermediate code. If at all it is asked, then the only thing which you need to understand is DAG, directed acyclic graph. Code optimization will not take more than 30 minutes to cover all the topics. Code optimization will not take more than 30 minutes to cover all the topics. Therefore, I am telling you to study this. And apart from that, liveness analysis is newly added in the syllabus. Newly means only 3-4 years. Previously, it was not in the syllabus, but newly added. Therefore, the chances of a question being asked from this particular topic are more. Chances of a question being asked are more. Now, when we talk about operating system, CPU scheduling algorithm, guaranteed question, very easy concept, guaranteed question. Now, when we say problems because of concurrency, that if two programs are executing concurrently, then what are the different problems which are possible? So, inconsistency, deadlock, all these are problems which are possible. Now, deadlock is a problem, inconsistency is a possible problem, and to avoid those problems you need to understand the concept of synchronization mechanism. So the most important thing which you need to study here is, sir, basically, I mean, if you are trying to understand the concept of synchronization, then I would suggest you to go through all classical problems. See, the question may not be directly asked from the classical problems, but when you are trying to learn those classical problems with the concept and logic, you will be able to answer many other questions. You will be able to answer many other questions. And the most important thing here is semaphore. I mean, the questions will be asked and with the semaphore will be used. So they will eventually ask that what should be the initial values of this semaphore if you want to attain this particular output. Or otherwise, if these are the initial values, then what are the things possible? It will suffer from deadlock, or what are the different outputs which are possible if a particular counting or binary semaphore is being used. So these are the type of questions which are asked very frequently related to the topic of synchronization. But see, the idea is, sir, operating system in general is a very large topic. So you may say that, sir, why all the topics are written? No, I'm just asking you to complete the concept of CPU scheduling, complete the concept of deadlock. These are the two concepts which are related to the concept of process. Now, problems because of concurrent execution, these are also because of the process, but these are related to the scenario when two or more programs are executing in the interleaving manner. So these things are actually related to the final output, that what are the different outputs which are possible if the programs are executing concurrently. If you want the consistent output, then you need the synchronization mechanism. So these are all the things which you need to study from the process concept. These are the things which you need to study from the memory management concept. So you need to understand what is paging. Now, TLB along with paging. So paging, TLB along with paging. So with paging and no TLB, what will be the effective access time? Paging, TLB, what will be the effective access time? And apart from that, you need to understand the concept of page replacement algorithm. Very frequently, the questions are asked from this page replacement algorithms. Clear? Now, multi-level paging. Now, there is a concept which is multi-level paging. If at all you are covering this concept of multi-level paging, then don't be hesitant to cover the concept of indexing in the database management system, because the concept of multi-level paging is used or will eventually be utilized when you are trying to learn the concept of indexing in the database management system, that is B tree and B plus tree. If you have not studied this concept of multi-level paging, then I suggest you to also skip the B tree and B plus tree. But because if you have studied the concept of multi-level paging, only 10% of efforts will be required to complete the topic of indexing. So I will suggest to cover this multi-level paging also. But generally, these questions which are related to the effective memory access time are framed based on the single level paging. Generally, these questions are framed on the single level paging concept. So I'm just trying to give you the scenario, sir, it is also important. Yes, it is important. So everything given in the syllabus is important, but we are trying to save some time, that how we can utilize our time in the best manner. Now, from the database management point of view, normalization is very important. So what you all need to know, normal forms, Normal form means given a relation, you should be able to answer that what is the normal form of this given relation. Apart from that, you must know the concept of join. What type of join? Lossless join. You also need to know the concept of dependency preservation. These two concepts, lossless join and dependency preservation, are related to the concept of decomposition. And obviously one more thing, to provide the concept of, to understand the concept of normal form, you also need to understand the concept of candidate keys. So this much is important from normalization point of view. If we are talking about query language, then you may skip tuple relational calculus. You may skip this tuple relational calculus, but relational algebra and SQL are the most important thing. Every year a question is asked from either relational algebra or SQL or from both. So these are the very important things. TRC is asked very rarely. So you can skip TRC if you don't have sufficient time. Again, you may think that SQL is very tough, but you just need to understand that how a particular clause works, right? So you need to focus on the concept rather than again mugging the things that okay, the solution in this particular scenario this will work this way, in this particular scenario this will work this way. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Jyotsna ER model is okay, but if at all a question is asked, it will be a 1 mark question and it will require a lot of time. So I'm just giving you the topics which are asked very frequently. So ER model is not asked every year, but the questions from normalization are asked almost every year. The questions from query languages are asked almost every year. When I said about transaction and concurrency control, so there are 3 things and a question is asked from one of those 3 things. What, sir? Config serializable schedule or view serializable schedule. So the concept related to serializability, the concept related to recoverability, and the concept related to implementation of this, that is concurrency control component. So basically you need to understand the concept of 2-phase locking, plus you need to understand the concept of timestamp ordering. So a question will maybe asked from one of these 3 topics. Exactly one question will come, not more than one question may come from this particular topic, but one will come and one will be from one of these 3 particular topics. Clear? File organization and indexing. So you can leave this file organization. You can cover this indexing only if you have covered multi-level paging. Try to understand this particular concept only if you have covered multi-level paging, because otherwise, see, the idea is 2 things can be completed in 6 hours, but one thing individually will be completed in 5 hours. So why to waste 5 hours if we are completing only one thing? So rather it will be a better choice to spend 6 hours and cover both the things, right? So this is the idea, that cover indexing only if you have covered multi-level paging, but if because of time constraint you are not able to complete the multi-level paging, then when you are covering the database management system, also skip indexing. And please, if you have started first from the database management system, then don't try to understand the concept of indexing until you have completed the multi-level paging from operating system. So these are the things which are related to each other. So there are many things that if you are starting the concept of compiler design, and if your tutor is not teaching you the concept of grammar in the compiler design, then you will not be able to understand the compiler design until you have completed the theory of computation. Right? Now, when I say relational algebra, so for understanding the concept of relational algebra and SQL, you will require the concept of sets. Therefore, I told you that start from the discrete mathematics. In discrete mathematics, you will eventually cover the concept of sets, you will eventually cover the concept of multi-sets. So when distinct is not used, how SQL query will work, even if the duplicate things are present, how relational algebra will work, it will be more clear if you know the concept of sets, that is sets and multi-sets. So that's the idea, the things are interrelated. So please make sure that you are picking the topics which are relevant with each other. So if you have covered one topic, then also try to cover the topic which is dependent on that particular thing, right? So in that way you will be able to maximize the throughput, that you will be able to score maximum marks with the minimum efforts. Okay, now the last thing is from the computer network, right? So when we talk about, so the syllabus of the computer network may be very clumsy, you may not get most of the things defined in the syllabus, but when we talk about LAN technologies, then you need to cover CSMA CD. If time permits, you may also cover the concept of Ethernet, but if the time is not there, CSMA CD is sufficient. Generally, the questions are asked from this particular thing. To understand the concept of flow and error control, try to understand the concept of sliding window protocol. So you can directly switch on to this particular topic, that what is sliding window protocol, what are the different types of sliding window protocol, go back and all those types. Now TCP or UDP, so TCP is more important. TCP is more important. Sir, the most important thing in the TCP is congestion control. That how TCP implements the concept of congestion control in the network. Now when we talk about IPv4, it's a fourth version. You don't need to go in too much detail for IPv6. If the time is not there, with respect to IPv4, the things which will be important are the concept of subnetting, IP addressing, apart from that, routing algorithms. Very important, routing algorithms and subnetting, IP addressing. So this is very important things. So you can actually see there are so many things in the syllabus, but the topics from which the questions are generally asked. Otherwise, so to complete all this thing, you will not require more than 50 hours. To complete all this subject, all these topics, you will require at least 50 hours, right? And the coverage is that this 15-hour topics will cover 60 to 70% of the questions which will be asked in the GATE exam. Remaining thing will cover only 30%. So that's what I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to give you the topics which will which will maximize the output with respect to the efforts which you will put in. Now application layer protocol, the most important thing which you need to cover is DNS, right? Most important thing in application layer protocol you need to cover is the DNS. Apart from that, you can also cover HTTP, FTP, basic thing. You can give a reading to all these different types of application layer protocol, but please focus on DNS. Clear? So I have covered all the subjects, and I have given you the information of almost all important topics from which the questions are asked in the GATE exam. Now, if you guys have any question, then please ask. Now, somebody also asked me related to general aptitude. See, general aptitude is a very vast thing. Sir, what do you understand by general aptitude? Why it is called general aptitude? It is called general aptitude, and why it is called aptitude, first of all, because it is something which you develop over the period, right? So the idea is, if at all you want to improve in the general aptitude segment, so first of all, if at all you are preparing for GATE, then make sure that you are a person who thinks logically. I've already told you that if you are someone who have aced all the exams by cramming or mugging, then please, GATE exam is not for you. GATE exam is only for the person who who is ready to think logically. All the concepts which will be available, or all the questions which are there in the GATE previous year question book will require the logical thinking before you solve them. Only very few questions will be there which can be solved directly based on the formula known to you. But especially in the computer science branch, they are looking for the people who can think logically, who can build concept, who can build logic based on a previously known concept, right? So who can build up new logic based on the previously known concept. So when I say general aptitude, it is most important thing. If you think that you are not good enough in the general aptitude, then you need to work on it, you need to improve it. Sir, how general aptitude can be improved? No teacher can help you in improving your general aptitude. You are the only one who can help yourself. So the only way of improving the general aptitude is choose a random question. Or I would number 10 random questions of aptitude daily. 10 random questions. Random. When I say random, they should not be from a particular topic that today I'll discuss time and distance. Today I'll discuss work. No, please don't do it. From any particular or from anywhere, just get 10 different questions. Look for a aptitude, search for a aptitude question on one particular website. Open one page, from there choose one question, open some other page, from there choose one question, open some other page, from there choose one question. That way, take 10 questions from the random sources and try to solve them. Try to understand the concept to solve those questions. Try to understand the concept to solve those questions. Please bear in mind that no question of general aptitude will require the specific knowledge of a particular subject. All those things are general, which you have studied in the past. So even if you start looking for the particular solution, so please tell me, what is the formula? What is the formula for the summation of first n natural numbers? What is the formula for the summation of first n natural numbers? Now, see, what I'm saying is that these are the types of things. You all know this, but generally when a question is there in front of you, you tend to forget it, or you may not be able to recall it. Though you have not forgotten it, but you are not able to recall it. If you solve 10 questions daily, which are from the random sources, and the questions are from the random topics as well, then eventually your mind will recall all those concepts frequently. What will happen? You are not able to solve those questions, or some of you may not be able to give the answer of this particular question because for a long period of time you have not used this particular concept. Similarly, if I ask you that a plus 3a plus 5a plus 7a up to, let's say, 99a, what will be the solution? So this is basically the arithmetic progression, right? Now common difference is 2a. Common difference is 2a. What will be the summation of what is the summation of a series in arithmetic progression which consists of n numbers? The first term is a and common difference is d. So first term is a, common difference d, n terms. What is the summation? AP. So you may not know the answer, or you all knew the formula for the summation of this particular arithmetic progression, but you are not able to recall it because for a very long period of time you did not use it, right? So that's the idea. If you are choosing random questions, now what will happen, sir? What if we choose from a particular topic, then for 10 days you will solve the questions of that particular topic, then you will not solve the questions of that particular topic for 6 months. You will again forget it. I mean, it's natural. You have forgotten the formula in the past, you will again forget it. So that's the logic, that please try to solve the random questions from random topics so that your subconscious mind will keep recalling those formulas which are somewhere available in your mind, but it's just that you are not trying to recall them. Therefore, I mean, they have been suppressed somewhere in these cells of your mind. So that's the idea. So this is the best thing to improve your general aptitude. I mean, a separate story, but that's fine. So can we skip verbal aptitude? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that all these things. Now, if you want to score in the questions of verbal aptitude, or if you want to score in the questions which are related to some errors in the sentence, or if you want to score some questions which are related to the concept of antonym or synonyms, then for that purpose, at the same time, you need to read newspapers for 1 hour. So please try to understand this. To improve your English, you need to read it. Now you will say, sir, we are anyway reading our notebooks in English. But so that's the reason that the terms which are technical are known to you, because you are very frequently in the touch of those technical terms in the English language. But the problem is that because you are not reading the novels very regularly, you are not reading the newspapers very regularly, or you are not watching any Hollywood movie in the English very regularly, therefore you are not very much comfortable with that particular language. So if at all you want to score in that verbal part also, then my suggestion is that apart from all these things, also try to read the newspaper or any novel for 1 hour. If time is there. So it's only for the people who are having sufficient time before they appear in the GATE exam. Clear? So this is it. So you guys, so please tell me if you guys are having any doubt or any question, so that I'll be able to clarify it, and otherwise we'll wrap up the session. Does any one of you have any doubt? And please, I mean, the session may look lengthy, but I don't want to keep coming with this particular type of sessions that, okay, please do this, please do this, please do this. So I've tried to compile each and everything in a single session, so that anyone who is sincere enough to know the topics which are important in the GATE exam will be able to, will find all those things at a single place. Anyway, sir, everything is clear. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining the session. I hope this session was useful for you. So guys, please try to understand. Even if you are preparing for the complete syllabus, then also please try to focus more on the topics which I have defined in this particular, or which I have described in this particular lecture. Okay. So you can, I mean, there is no point revising the things again and again for several hours, from which the questions are, or the probability of a question being asked is very less. Please try to focus on those area from which the probability of question being asked is high, right? So that will be all. Thank you very much. See you in some other session. Till then, thank you. Good night. Take care.